Reality recap.
And hi, Evelyn. Yes, I know you have the reunion. Yes, we have 2 more episodes. And then we have the reunion, of course.
I look like this. I look like a mom. She was like, you the one that look like you got a high body count hair. I fell the fuck out, y'all.
Candace, has Deborah reached out to you to apologize after the episode aired showing Chris did not flirt with her?
She wouldn't dare. She would get eaten for breakfast.
Oh boy.
No, she's doubling down.
Why would you go meet with Ray J without talking to Princess or letting her know? Why? Like, she's trying to justify that she told her after the fact and not supposed to make it.
What do you think of your ex-husband Jim coming out and saying you did not try to stop him from suing Shannon and Tamara?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if his memory is a little foggy about what transpired back then, that's okay. However, he did admit that I had nothing to do with the...
Reality recap. Reality recap.
What's up, my good people? It is your girl V with Reality Recap here for another live Tea Talk session. And today we are going over last night's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine Season 11 Reunion Part 1. We are streaming live right now across Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The chats are live, so please drop your thoughts, your comments on last night's episodes as I give you my unsolicited thoughts. And before we get started, as always, please make sure you like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you can't watch this live in its entirety, no worries. I have pre-recorded as well as all of my live recaps are on my YouTube channel. You can see it scrolling across the screen here at Reality Recap 2876. And the link is in my bio on Instagram and Facebook if that's where you're watching from, for you to click on my link, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. I appreciate your support. And one more thing before we get into the episodes last night. I don't know if you can see it on my screen, but I had the pleasure of recording yesterday with one of my favorite podcasts, podcast page. The podcast is I Cannot. That's IKEN, not with Kendrick. And I had a ball. It's a really good episode. We talk about all things RHOA, Beverly Hills. We get into some hot topics like Toya and her family feuds. We talk about Candy and Tamar's feud. A whole lot of cackling going on. I had a really good time. So the episode, the link is also in my IG and Facebook stories. You can watch it there as well. I'll have a post up, but yes, the link to the Spotify podcast is up for you guys. So please take a listen, give a 5-star rating, follow Kendrick. I Cannot. Make sure you follow and subscribe to his podcast as well. So I appreciate you guys. Hey, Lily, thank you for checking in on YouTube. How are you? I know, girl. Lily said, OMG, the way they're dragging Dr. Daddy Damon Grill after Heavenly. I was going to show that. I will show that for the people because it has been... Prayer you listen. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah, Lily, it's been a lot going on the internet between both Real Housewives in Atlanta and Married to Medicine since last night's episode. So we're going to get into all of that, including my thoughts on the episode. So yes, Lily, I know they've been dragging Dr. Daddy Teeth, Contessa Teeth. They've been, Portia and Kenya seemingly got a little beef going on. Dr. Simone and Dr. Heavenly posting about what Phaedra had to say at the reunion. So it's been a whole lot going on in the internet just in one little old night from these episodes airing last night. So let's get not Married to Medicine. Let's get Real Housewives of Atlanta on the screen so the people coming in know who we're talking about. Yes, we have them up. So let's get into the episode and all things happening with RHOA. So last night we started with Brittany. And she had her in-laws over. I am not interested in Brittany's story. I said that on Ken's podcast. I'm not interested, guys. But nonetheless, we got to see her in-laws come over and she hosted them. And my notes only say, what did Brittany sound like before the nose job? I wonder. She's very nasally now, and you can tell it's from her nose job. It has to be. So that was my only note, was what did she sound like before? But she sat down with her husband's sister and talked about her sisters and how they're not getting along, and she tried to hire them into her insurance business, but mixing family with business, we all know that doesn't always go well. So she talked about that feud, but I'm not interested. I'm not really interested in any of that. I still want to know, what does Brittany's husband do? What does he do, guys? I've been looking high and low to try to figure it out, and if I can't find it out, y'all know it's a problem. It's giving red flag. I also talked about that on Ken's podcast yesterday, but I don't know what he does for a living. If any of you do, be sure to drop it in the chat for me. But I can't figure out what the man does for a living, and that is a red flag. Y'all already know we are scarred reality TV watchers from Jen Shaw and Teresa. And if you watch Chrisley Knows Best with Todd and his wife going to jail, like we need to know. We 3 episodes in and we don't know what you do for a living, red flag. But they're planning a wedding ceremony, or she's planning it. He's kind of holding off on it. It seemed like he wants a baby. So that's where they are. But yeah, the only thing interesting about Brittany, in my opinion, so far was that, which I already knew this, but she dated Rick Ross in the past, and they asked her, one of the producers asked her about that last night, and she said, yes, I dated him, but that was in the past. She said before she was dating a lot of high profile, rappers and probably athletes, and they were all flashy and probably huge cheaters and yada, yada, yada. And now she kind of, in my opinion, probably not on purpose, but kind of low key played her husband, saying like, yeah, I got me a regular degular smuggler guy with money instead of dealing with that type of lifestyle. So she also keeps mentioning how she was a video vixen in high school. I want to stop saying that, y'all. I really do. You think Brittany? Lily said he looks a little gay to me. I'm sorry. Are you talking about Brittany's husband? You think he looks a little gay? I didn't pick that up. He doesn't say much. He's a man of few words. I didn't pick that up, but I'm just trying to figure out, what does he do for a living? What insurance did he buy from Brittany? Was it life insurance? It's not Prem said he a scammer. We don't know that, Prem. We don't know. But I swear I'm gonna look into some more, because when I tell you I've been trying to figure it out, looking high and low, I can't figure it out to save my life. So yeah, I really want her to stop saying she was a video vixen in high school and how she was an it girl since day one. Cool and all, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know, maybe her parents did sign releases for her to be in these videos. I don't know. But I just want her to stop saying that, because it doesn't sound good. It really doesn't sound good at all. We then see Portia and Kelly sit down, and they have a conversation since their first meeting at Shamia's birthday party, where Portia came in ready to set the record straight, or set her straight, I should say, because Shamia had let her know that she sat down at dinner with Kelly and with Brittany, and how Kelly had a lot to say about how Portia got her husband and she stole him from Fallon and things of that nature. So she came into Shamia's birthday party ready to set Kelly straight, and they really couldn't get into it too much. Portia was coming from a space of, well, listen, that's how you get to know someone. That's the first thing out of your mouth. Like, what's your last name? What do you do for a living? Like, how about you get to know me before you jump right into how did you get your husband, or did you steal your husband? And I said, at this point, that's not a question. I ain't gonna speak for y'all, but that's not a question I need answered. It's pretty clear whether we agree with it or not. Like, we already saw Portia's family special. We know she felt like she wasn't cool with the woman. She felt like she wasn't cool with the woman. She met her at the house that one time. They weren't friends, and she started dating him. And that's what it is. That's how she feels. I ain't saying it's right, but that's what happened. point blank. And then on the other hand, you got Simon, who said that Fallon was cheating. The guy that she's married to now and having a second child with, that she was already cheating with that young fine thing while they were married. So that's their stories and they're sticking to it. I don't have any more questions on that. That's old news. We in the news of they're getting divorced and Simon is locked up in ICE down in Georgia. That's where I'm at with it. I don't have any questions about that. But Kelly, seemingly saying everybody wants to know the answer to that. No, I'm good. So speak for yourself. But they sit down to have a conversation and a whiplash listening to that conversation. It really didn't make much sense. It felt like Kelly pretty much threw Shamia under the bus, or they painted Shamia to be the bad guy, saying that the way that the conversation went is not how Shamia conveyed it to Portia, when in my opinion that is exactly what happened. She was doing some clowning, she was being shady, and she said, no, I mean, all I asked was, well, why did she steal that woman's husband? There's no way to say that and it not be shady, in my opinion. But it just seemed like they flipped the script, and she said, yeah. And Shamia said, well, that's something you should talk to her about the next time you see her. And Portia latched on to that, saying, like, so you telling me my best friend, knowing that I'm going through divorce and all this, told you to approach me when you see me and ask me about how I got my husband? And that ain't the way that Shamia meant it. It was more like, don't talk about it behind her back. Say whatever you got to say to her face. She did not come out and say, when you get to my birthday party, you pull her aside, you ask her all the questions you want to know right now at this birthday party, or nothing like that. It wasn't like that. I'm struggling to understand how Shamia ended up the bad person or the bad friend when she really was looking you out. Now, has she seen that conversation of Shamia sitting down with Kelly and Brittany and not said anything? Then it's just like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. I really felt like I caught whiplash. Like, how the hell they turn them tables that fast? How did they turn this on Shamia so quickly? I was really confused. So if this is like some of the reasons why Portia and Shamia aren't that cool right now, it ain't that deep, it ain't that serious, and it's kind of messed up because Kelly flipped the entire script, in my opinion. But they ended up giggling at the table and now they're best friends, which is strange to me, but that's what happened. I also saw on Instagram last night, which was a little shocking, that Portia posted some pictures with her and Brittany and how they were cheersing and out together. And her caption was really short. It just said clink clink, and it was 2 champagne glasses. And then Brittany posted, or she commented underneath it as well as reposted it, but she commented saying like, my girl. And then this morning, Kenya posted in her story, #traitor. Now, some of you were saying that, well, maybe she's hinting at she's on the next season of Traitors. I don't think so. She could be, but would she be hinting at that? They normally don't do that, or contracted not to do that. We would wait for the show announcement and who's going to be on the show. So some people were saying, well, maybe that's what she's doing. I feel like, and I honestly feel like it was a clapback at what Portia had posted, because we all know, starting next episode, if you didn't see the preview, we're going to start getting into the beef between Kenya and Brittany, and how we got to Kenya ultimately being, she says she's not fired, suspended, on pause, whatever you want to call it. We're going to start to see how that unfolded and what it was that Kenya actually did post at her grand opening of her hair salon. So I don't know. I was just a little shocked. Like, I didn't know that Portia and Brittany was so cool that they're hanging out like that. But I immediately, when Portia posted it, I said, I wonder how Kenya's gonna feel, because they were cool, close, hanging out and during the taping and things like that. So I was a little interested, and she came back with that. Seemingly, we don't know for sure. So it's allegedly that she was speaking about Portia's post. But do I think it was about that? I do. I don't think it was about Traitors, guys. Just being honest. We then saw Drew in the stew. She was in the studio, and Kendra, Cynthia, and Angela stopped by to see her. And Kenya kept it 100 with Drew. She said, like, yo, you out here looking real bad in these streets. You need to set the record straight. Like, you out here looking like a whole whore, not a hoe, but a whore, because the people are saying you messing with Dennis, holding hands, wearing matching outfits. And if it's just business, you need to speak up for yourself and say that. She was saying, why isn't Dennis speaking up and saying anything? Hell, y'all saw Dennis was held up in the parking lot alleyway with Portia threatening him basically on a hot mic moment to not film with Drew. So I'm sure he doesn't want to be involved in any of that or have any drama with his baby mama. But Kenya told her, like, you were dead wrong for not having a conversation with Portia first, out of respect. And Cynthia said too, like, yeah, Kenya, Kenya had her baby daddy, Leon, in a movie, but she made sure, Kenya made sure to come to me first and have a conversation about it. And that's what you should have done with Portia. Now, Drew's holding on to, they was flashing him in the background that she texts Portia saying she had to talk to her about something really important and they couldn't get times together. And Cynthia was saying, girl, you could have just picked up the phone and called. It didn't have to be a face-to-face meeting. It could have been FaceTime. Or you could have just called and said it and talked about it and it would have been over with. So I do agree from that standpoint that definitely baby daddies hit different, like Cynthia said, and she should have had a conversation with her. I also think there's a million producers down there in Atlanta. We've seen half of them on our reality TV shows. She could have went a different route, but she has already mentioned that she's tried big name producers. It hasn't worked out for her. Dennis came with a professional plan. He's been nothing but professional. He had a business plan of what he was going to do, and she decided to go with it. And by the way, guys, I like Drew's album. I like Drew's album. Did any of you guys listen to her album or download it? I saw that she's coming up on the Apple iTunes chart. When I last looked, I think she was like number 16 on the iTunes charts, which is really good. But I like her album, guys. There's some hits on there. I like Delulu. I like what is it called? What's the other one called? I'm gonna look it up right now. But I really do like her album. So if you haven't, take a listen to it. Download it, stream it, help her get up the charts so she can get Ralph the hell out of her basement. But I really do like her album. I do. I like I Did It to Me. I like Delulu. And it's something like Sidestep or something like that. It's like a step in, like a homage to her Chicago roots. But I really do like her album, and she is coming up the charts. Let's see where she is right now. Where is she on the charts? Is she still moving up? Yeah, I think it looks like she's still around like 13. But that's really good for her debut album and for Dennis, who's new to making music. I thought it was a great piece of music. So y'all make sure y'all take a listen to it. But yeah, Kenya kept it 100 with her. And I agree. She should have had a conversation, whether on phone, in person, not just trying to say, well, I text her and she didn't call me back. But do I think that they are messing around? No, I don't get the vibe that Dennis and Drew are messing around. Which, by the way, since we're talking about Drew, y'all know Ralph. I've been posting, keeping y'all update. Ralph podcast. He started out as Ralph Pittman TV. Then after Drew's tagline dropped, where she said, "I'm always going to be upper level, and everyone else is in the basement." She ate. That shit was funny as hell. So after she came out with that, he ended up changing his podcast to Ralph in the Basement. Yes, Prim, Ralph in the Basement. So he keeps dropping little clips, but his official podcast episode is supposed to drop today. It's taking him a while too. I think he was hoping to get more subscribers before he ended up dropping a podcast episode, but I guess he said, what the hell, I'm gonna just go on with it, because let me see how many followers. Yeah, he got about 191 subscribers right now. Over the weekend, he only had about 60. So it's growing from his little teasers. But his first episode is supposed to drop today. That's what he says. So once it does, y'all know I'm going to watch it. Y'all know I'm going to give y'all the details. So keep it locked. But he does have a podcast called Ralph in the Basement. I'm hollering. So yeah, y'all help Drew stream this album, get her album up the charts so she can get this man out her basement. And we had a little positive moment. I won't spend too much time on it because y'all know I love the mess and the shade. But Shamia had to sit down with her sisters and just talked about life, her babies, trying to grow her family. It was touching. Good to see another side of Shamia. Now back to the mess. We then went to Angela and Charles. Why did Angela pull in that driveway like that, y'all? She was driving like a bat out of hell. Did y'all notice that? If not, go back and look at it. But the way she rammed that pickup truck in that driveway, I was like, oh my God, is she going to run into the house? Lord, that woman, either she can't drive or she was upset about something. But she met up with Charles at one of her real estate properties that she's flipping. And right now it's going through some construction. And I don't like Charles, y'all. I'm tired of telling y'all this. I don't like Charles. I don't. I really think that he is so rude to Angela, but she wants to have a vow renewal ceremony. And I get it. She has 4 or 5 properties that she's trying to invest in, and his money is tied into it. But she also says she was a self-made millionaire from her real estate endeavors. But he's like, nah, you're not about to spend my money on these properties, and I don't see an investment yet. And you want to go and spend the money on a vow renewal ceremony. I totally get that. I do. But it's just the way he goes about it. He's saying like, oh my God, all this money we spending on therapy, we should get a discount. And she's saying they spend like $1,200 a month on it, which I guess in rich people's eyes, that isn't a lot. It is to me. But I get his side, but I just feel like he seems so uninterested, so like not really wanting to be there or do a vow renewal. She also spoke about how in 2017 something happened with him, which I gotta catch up with Sam Sports or Off the Top Sports, my two like brother podcasts with all the sports information. But I wanted to get more details because I couldn't find anything online about in 2017 when she mentioned that Charles was kicked out of Madison Square Garden and she couldn't heal him from that, and that they had to live separately from something that happened at work. Y'all had to live separately. 2 + 2 ain't equaling 4 with me. I told you I'm already trying to understand the timeline she gave of their children. It seems like there's a child in between their youngest daughter, Charles Jr., that doesn't seem to be with her. I'm confused by that. And then she's saying that because of something that happened at Madison Square Garden, they lived separately for a long time. It is not adding up, guys. So I need to do some more research and speak to my sports buddies to understand exactly what happened in 2017 that was so catastrophic that he couldn't heal and needed to live separately from his wife. So I also have someone in my DMs alleging some information about, Angela and her husband. We'll get to it. I promise to bring them on once they deliver receipts and we get closer down the line of all of this kind of stuff uncovering in the episode. So hold on to your seats. If you're not enjoying Atlanta yet, I am. You guys hold on. It's a lot coming. It's a lot coming. So yeah, ratings may be low for the first time, the first season premiere, lowest ratings, but it's gonna pick up and then people gonna be catching up. So if you watching, stay with it. Prim said, I think he got in a fight with the Knicks then coach, maybe, but the other part, he don't like her. Yeah. I agree. I don't think he likes her at all. He gives the vibes of like Ramona's husband, the way he used to treat her, and then it came out that he was cheating. It gives that type of vibe. I just don't get love and care. My husband would never get on TV and talk to me like that. Like, oh, you want to have a vow renewal? And she's saying, yeah,
let's keep up with the therapy so it helps us for the next 10 years. And I'm man, he like, that's a long time. Like, you sure about that? Like, you think we still gonna be together? That's how his tone was. Crazy, crazy. And everybody that's saying that, oh, he's being himself and he's just being real. Y'all out of your mind. Cause none of y'all would want y'all husband on TV talking to y'all like that. Like, stop it. Be for real. I don't want to hear. He's just being his authentic self. Well, his authentic self is an asshole. Okay. So whatever. But I don't like him. Can you tell? He also was on Watch What Happens Live because Angela had her first Watch What Happens Live debut last night. Hey, Rewatch. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. But yeah, Angela had her first debut on Watch What Happens Live last night. And Charles was in the audience. And a member of the audience, or I think a virtual caller asked, did Charles mess with Sheree back in the day? And Angela tried to politically answer it correct, saying, like, well, I don't know. Charles was with many women in his day. I don't know. It's not something we talked about. And they cut to Charles in the audience, and he was just like, like he didn't say, no, that ain't true. Or nothing in the camera. So I was like, oh, okay. It's giving some truth to that. But yeah, he was asked about dating Cherie last night, and allegedly to me, it seemed like it was true. You know what I mean? But I said, yeah, he got around. He was a big deal. He really was, and he's a legend in the NBA arena. I'm learning. I'm a football girl. Y'all know this. I'm not a basketball girl, but he seems to be a big deal, a legend, and that doesn't excuse him for treating her the way that he does. And I don't even think it's her. I just think that's his demeanor. Just real too cool for school, above others. I don't really get down with that vibe. But yeah, it ain't adding up. But I got some tea piping in my DMs. Y'all stay tuned and watch the season. And when we get a little down further, I'm gonna have him come on the show with his receipts. But then we also saw Drew visit her lawyer last night, and they talked about how the divorce is taking such a long time because Ralph won't turn in his financial records. I'm assuming he's going to talk about that on his podcast episode when it drops, depending on when he recorded it, if he recording it after last night's episode. But they saying that Ralph won't turn in his financial records, and that the details of their divorce is going to be unsealed, and that will lead to everyone knowing what we already know, like accusing him of following her, monitoring her, just a lot of crazy stuff going on in their marriage. And she was upset about it because she's trying to protect the kids, but he ain't trying to protect the kids. He down in your basement doing a whole podcast. That's a nice basement. Y'all see the background back there? I was like, I wonder how I can do that for my basement, because that's where I am too, right? I should call my shit Nessa in the basement, right? But I'm definitely going to tune in and see if he addressed anything because the lawyer was paying him out to be a real bad guy. So we'll see what he has to say about that. What else did we see? What else I want to talk about? Oh yeah, Portia. I was shocked, and Portia's mom is catching a lot of flack online right now as well because of what she had to say. We saw Portia go to spa with her mom, and she's telling her mom about Shamia telling her what Kelly had to say, and that she met with Kelly, and they kind of smoothed it over. And I was surprised that Portia's mother saying, like, well, you got to watch the dog that brings the bone or carries the bone sometime. Like, yeah, that's your daughter best friend. She did not mean it in a malicious way, or she wasn't thinking she got a lot going on her divorce. You're on a television show. You're my friend. Somebody says something about you. I'm going to tell you. I was surprised that Portia mom said that, but she catching a lot of heat online today because of that. And it was just crazy to see how everybody is flipping Portia's mind against Shamia, including Kelly and her mom, telling her, you got to watch her. Why would she bring that to you knowing you're going to a divorce? Because she's on national television and this lady was talking shit about her. That's why she told her. So I don't know, but it was just like everybody's really molding Portia's mind against Shamia. It's crazy.
We then get to Kelly had a Mommy and Me event last night, a charity event at Balmain, and Angela approaches Shamia. And she asked her, like, hey, can we talk? Because we know Shamia and Angela didn't have the best conversation after Shamia's birthday party. They went to work out with Drew and Angela. Although Angela was asking Shamia why was she being a representative or a spokesperson for Portia, she was doing the same thing for Drew. So I don't know, but she was saying, like, can we talk? We didn't get off on the best of foots. That's not usually how I am. I want to talk through it. And Angela said, not Angela, Shamia said, I would love to sit down and have a conversation with you and meet you and not Drew's representative. And she said, no, that wasn't Drew's representative. That was all me. So Shamia said, you know what? Well, then I'm good off you. I already know how you feel. You said it from you, not from Drew's perspective. So we ain't got nothing to talk about. And then they got into an old school hiking session. You know, you got Shamia on the screen. You know, I can't even do it. She sniffed up her nose like that and saying that Angela got a nose from the 90s. Angela called Shamia Flavor Flav. Now, some of you guys in my comments said that you felt like that was a colorist comment that Angela made. I necessarily didn't take it that way. I don't tell others how to view things. That's your perception. I didn't take it that way at all. I don't know. To me, they're similar in shade. So I didn't take it as that. I really didn't. But some people were saying that they felt like that was a colorist comment. I didn't. Um Shamia was Flavor Flav for Halloween. She posted a side by side. She, meaning Angela, posted a side by side of Flavor Flav and Shamia when she dressed as Flavor Flav for Halloween, and said, like, she also screenshotted a caption or Flavor Flav responded saying, "Oh, she did a great job." She was like, "Yeah, you do look like Flavor Flav. Even Flavor Flav said you did a great job." So to me, it was just shady on both ends. I thought they was just going blow for blow with low shade. I didn't take it as that, but again, I don't tell others how to feel. If you feel that way, I get it. But I didn't. I just thought it was shady. But they had their back and forth, and Brittany was in her confessional laughing at the nose comment, and I'm saying, girl, you got the same nose. So I'm trying to figure out, but the fact that Brittany was saying that was shady and she thought it was so funny, I was like, girl, your nose is giving the same. You could be in the same Jackson family with Angela. So I don't get it. But what I asked you guys to pay attention to was the friend that was standing behind Shamia, who also, in my opinion, has got a little botched nose job, is Ming Lee. Ming Lee has been in a lot of scenes lately. She's supposed to be on Basketball Wives coming up, allegedly, the new season of Basketball Wives, because she is allegedly dating Ty. Yes, Ty, the one that Ralph thought I was gonna say Portia, the one that Ralph thought Drew was messing with, that she was having a lesbian relationship with, that Ty is supposedly allegedly dating Ming Lee. So they are supposed to be on Basketball Wives together this upcoming season. They were seen filming. So I'll say allegedly, but you already know the deal. So we'll see. But I just find it very odd that the woman that Drew was accused of messing with, her girlfriend, is in a lot of scenes. A lot. And even for Drew, I think it was something they had at that club 7-Eleven, or not 7-Eleven, for something down in Atlanta. They had a party and she was there. Like, so it's just, keep that in your back pocket, because it might come up again, but keep that in your back pocket that Ming Lee and Ty are allegedly dating and going to be on Basketball Wives. And then also she's in a lot of scenes with Drew, but you don't see them talking at all. You don't see them around each other. Like, Drew was at the ball main event last night, but you didn't see her directly around. Ming was there with Shamia. So just keep that in your back pocket, people. Okay. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was a high episode. I just didn't understand how by the end of the episode, Shamia became this villain against Portia. So I guess we'll start to see more of their back and forth or why they're not so cool anymore as well. But Shamia did post happy birthday to Portia's daughter. Her birthday was over the weekend. She did post with her daughter and they sung happy birthday. So I don't think they're going to stop being best friends or being friends at all together. I just think we see so many friends come on these shows and once other people get mixing in the pot and he says she said it causes a rift in the friendship. But I think they'll be all right. Now, let's get into Married to Medicine, season 11 reunion, part 1. Let me put the ladies up on the screen so everybody knows who we're talking about. But yeah, let's get into Married to Medicine. I'm exhausted by this season, y'all. I really want this reunion to be over. But I will say, Married to Medicine reunion is shaping up to be much better than the season. I will say that. Like a trade-off for exhausting season is that it seems like it's shaping up to be a good reunion. Part 1 was pretty good. A lot of back and forth between the girls. I personally think that Sweet Tea stood on business. I ain't got no beef with Sweet Tea. I don't feel like she has come on and tried to get low with anybody. She's only responded to things. They were asking her to be on this show because at the time they were on outs with Quad. So I ain't got no beef with her. And the shit she was saying last night was making sense to me. Like I don't think Quad jealous of her, but it was making sense. And she was standing on business. She articulated herself well. She said what she said and meant what she meant. And I was like, okay, say what you gotta say. Prim said, I'm so sick of them. I am too. I really am. Like they already, I think somebody was saying how the show was getting canceled and ha ha ha. And Dr. Heavenly responded in the comments saying that they are going to start filming next month. So they're not canceled, they're not put on pause. According to Dr. Heavenly, they will start filming next month. Who will be filming that is not known, but they won't be put on pause. But do I think they need to consider the dynamic? I'm not gonna do another season of only you can come to the cocktail hour or you can come to this, and they're gonna have to figure it out if everybody's returning. If you signed the contract to film with these people, then you're gonna have to film with these people. I don't even think for real that Dr. G filed any type of restraining order charges. How could he? How could he travel from goddamn Key West to Atlanta and file some charges? That ain't even a jurisdiction. I don't believe that at all. I ain't seen no paperwork of that. And he didn't get touched. So I it's just a bunch of bullshit in my opinion. But I am exhausted by them as well. So first off, with Married to Medicine, Phaedra gagged the girls, honey. They said they showed some never before seen footage because Phaedra did not show up at the reunion, as we know. And she went off. I mean, she did go a little low. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, damn, Phaedra, you supposed to be, a Southern Belle. That was not giving Southern Belle, but she called them trash, demonic. She said that they were mean, angry black women because they are ugly and fat. I said, oh my God. Holy shit. She went off like she gagged them in that unseen footage. It was a little mean. I was like, damn, you calling them black mean ladies and you basically are doing the same thing. But she went off and they were all like, wow, oh my God, they couldn't believe she had said that. I couldn't as well. And also Dr. Simone, Dr. Heavenly, they've been on Instagram posting. Let me see if I can bring that up for y'all. But they were posting, it's a long video. I ain't gonna post it, I ain't gonna put it up here, but they were posting because I don't want my shit to get flagged. They were posting some of the things that Phaedra said about Married to Medicine last season, how like the girls rally around marriages, and if she was on Married to Medicine, she probably would have been able to save her marriage versus being on RHOA, where as soon as you say you getting divorced, they like popping bottles and celebrating. They were posting all the positive things she had to say last season. Only thing I feel about that was like that was before you brought her ex-husband and the woman that he married that he was cheating on Phaedra with while she was pregnant. That, in my opinion, you crossed the line there. And I don't care. I do think Phaedra, we did hear Phaedra agree to Apollo coming on the trip, but she did not agree to Apollo and his wife coming on the trip. And I think that was the factor that changed things for Phaedra, and she didn't like and felt ambushed by. And rightfully so. I would have said no to the ex-husband coming at all, but she did agree to that, just not the wife coming. They clearly don't get along. They don't have any type of relationship. She believes that Phaedra, that Apollo was cheating on her while pregnant with this woman he married. And I'm still trying to figure out what was she on the trip for, because according to their divorce is finalized, by the way. That happened over the weekend. That came out that Apollo has finalized his divorce. He's officially a single man from his second wife. But the paperwork said that they have been separated for quite some time. Like, they were separated before the filming of Married to Medicine. So what the hell did she have to be there for? She had already filed for divorce, claiming that he was, abusive to her, cheating, all of these things. So it was giving, they came with a purpose to ruffle Phaedra's feathers. And then they left after they accomplished that and made her leave. They left Key West and went to Miami. I don't even know if they went together. She could have went back home. They could have been like, all right, you did what you need to do. You go back to ATL. I'm going to Miami. I don't even know. But I just felt like that was the turning factor for Phaedra. And then they put that RHOA contract on the table. You can't film with both. She had a contract. She did her obligation of her contract. She signed on with RHOA, and she got the hell on and went back to that franchise. That's the bottom line. I feel like that's really why she didn't come to the reunion over it all, was that she had already signed on to go back to RHOA. That's obvious, but she gagged their asses in that shit. I was like, wow. She said a whole lot. I do wish she was there to say it in person and speak her piece. I don't feel like she's running at all, but she's just moved on from them and from those type of bitches. That's what she said in her unseen footage. So I said, damn, girl. Okay, tell them how you really feel. But yeah, they've been posting some of the positive things and that she had to say from the previous season. We then are talking about Napa again. I'm so tired of talking about Napa. And Quad talking about how she has to work through that daily. What do you have to work through daily? They kicked you off the trip. They apologized to you and brought you back. You took them back as friends. So what are you still working through? I don't know, but I'm tired of talking about Napa. It's obvious they had a plan to get her off the show. They voted her ass off. They casted her off the island. And that was that. So if you're going to still continue to be friends with them, let it go. But I don't want to talk about Napa anymore. And what was up with Quad? Her word for the night was challenge. What is your challenge with me? What is the challenge there? What's the she said that so many times. I should have played a drinking game, y'all. But she kept saying that, and I just didn't understand, like, is that the new word for what's your beef with me or something? But she just kept saying, what is the challenge? But Simone had a point to me, y'all. Like, Simone and her, they talked about Napa, and Simone said, look, you gave us your ass to kiss, which in actuality, Phaedra did. I mean, not Phaedra, Quad did. When she was going through her divorce with Greg, she shut everybody out. She's saying she didn't feel it was a safe space. Cool, but that's what she did. She shut everybody out. She got on that talk show. She made them talk show hosts, her co-hosts, her peers on that talk show she was on. They became her best friends. She was cheersing and toasting and giving special speeches about how good of a friend they was, and basically shading how bad of a friend the friends that this group of ladies was. She gave them her ass to kiss, and they decided to hang out with Greg and Sweet Tea. That's what it is. Why do we need a whole season to keep going back and forth over this? Everybody is lying, in my opinion. Like Toya saying that nobody knew that
Simone was gonna ask Quad to leave the trip. Bullshit. They all knew. They all had a plan. They all felt like they don't really hang out with Quad. She wasn't answering the phone. Like, let's just keep it 100 so we can move on. At the end of the day, y'all knew that y'all was going. The plan was to ask Quad to leave off that trip. We know that what Sweet Tea said last night was true. She said that Toya wanted her to be on the show because she was at odds with Quad, and that they wanted her to come on and be at odds with Quad. They wanted her to go to war with, I believe, everything Sweet Tea said. Like, let's just keep it 100. Y'all wasn't cool with her. She did give y'all your ass to kiss. She's not the victim in this, and she's not working through anything daily. Y'all played her, she played y'all, and y'all was doing shit. That's it. And Heavenly too. And thank you for checking in. Is it Tali, baby? Is that how you say it? But thank you. So and Heavenly as well. Heavenly and Heavenly. I keep saying heavily. That's not nice. I didn't mean that. But Heavenly and Toya knew exactly what they were doing by bringing Sweet Tea on this show. And now Heavenly's bowing out of it. Like, she apologized to Quad. She sincerely apologized. She's taking her side in this whole feud of it all. She's on Quad and King's side. At the end of the day, I don't want to see Quad and King without Sweet Tea and Greg. What are we following with Quad? What are we going to follow? Her IVF journey? Cool. Happy for you. That doesn't make for reality TV gold. What makes for reality TV gold is both of these couples being on the show trying to figure shit out. Like, it ain't no one or the other. It's both of y'all or none of y'all, in my opinion. That's how I feel. And I'm going to tell y'all on the side, I believed what Sweet Tea said about allegedly when it came to the Rolls Royce, because the streets have been saying all weekend that there's some paperwork out there showing that King and some of his cars, i.e. a Rolls Royce, are stolen. Listen, allegedly. But that is what the streets are saying. So I felt like, hey, Toria, thank you for checking in. And Lily says, you believe Sweet Tea as well. Tally Baby said, no lies detected. I agree. Thank y'all. But that's how I'm feeling. Like, Sweet Tea stood on business last night. I don't have no beef with her. I don't feel like she's dragging the show down. I feel like she's the one keeping it 100. She said that, Quad was jealous. I don't know about that. But she said it. She was telling the truth that Quad is associated to medicine by Dr. Greg. That's no lies there. King is not in the medical field at all. He's selling and renting luxury cars. So your association with this show, whether you want to admit it or not, is through Greg. It is. That's cold hard facts. So I ain't choosing one couple over the other. Both of y'all come on and figure it out. Because I told you, I ain't doing another season of only this one can come to this hour of the party and this couple. I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. I will stop watching. I'm lying, but I protested though. Because I got to do my job. But still, it's getting ridiculous. Like, I'm exhausted. I really wish this reunion was only 2 parts. I really do. I mean, but it was a lot of drama. I enjoyed it, but Sweet Tea held her own. I was surprised to see Toya upset to be sitting next to Sweet Tea. And I was just like, wow, I guess she's upset about some stuff Sweet Tea said about her online. But again, Sweet Tea said, you wanted me to have beef with Quad. And she said, no, I didn't. You're mad that me and Quad got cool. No, she not. She don't care. She really was trying to just be on the show and show her relationship with Dr. G. She's not looking to beef with Quad at all. I don't get that. I also didn't get, Toria says Simone is getting on my nerves and full of shit. You know what got on my nerves, Toria? When she tried to bend down in front of Sweet Tea and act like she's being her big sister and all of that, Toria. That's what I didn't understand at all. Like, she don't need you. She doing better than you. We see you about to get your ass whooped in one of these parts of the reunion by Quad in the back during the lunch break. So Sweet Tea don't need you to come and try to calm her down. She was calm. She was articulating herself well, and she stood on business. I ain't got no beef with Sweet Tea at all. None whatsoever. I think she did a great job speaking for herself. She didn't need Dr. G there getting mad and cutting her off and yelling. She did just fine. We also saw Contessa and Heavenly get into it last night. Same thing with them. Bottom line, the shit that Heavenly said about Contessa's marriage, whether she feels like, yes, did Contessa come on and tell her story? That's her story to tell. If she was going through a rough patch in her marriage and she shared that with us, that does not give Heavenly the right to go on there as her friend. You supposed to be her good Judy, to go on your podcast and call her husband verbally abusive or bash him or say he ain't shit. You're not supposed to do that as her friend. You calling yourself one of her best friends, that's not what you did. What she did was wrong. Just admit that. Apologize. And then with Contessa, yeah, like, if she already apologized, either you're gonna move on with it or you not. I don't want to keep going around in circles over this. Like, or you get on a podcast and tell everything you told last night. Because they saying that Dr. Daddy Damon, he's had affairs, he has a mixed baby out there, that they paying their children for affection. Listen. And she said the Atlanta streets is saying all of this. So get on the podcast and tell what you know then. And let's just move on from it. You don't think who was wrong, Victoria? But yeah, I just feel like accept the apology and move on, or don't. I wouldn't trust Heavenly as far as I could throw her. So if you don't want to move on with her, cool. She apologized, accept it, forgive, but don't forget. Simple as that. Who do you not think was wrong, Toria? Let me know. But yeah, they've been going back and forth on the internet too. I will pull that up for y'all. Let me show y'all this, yo. I gotta show y'all this. Tori said, Contessa needs to take accountability for saying this stuff. There is no reality show where nobody don't repeat what another person said. Yeah, I do. Contessa has to take accountability for she put her marriage on display. I just think it hit different from like a person like me that don't know them, giving my piece on their marriage and saying what I think about her husband versus Heavenly, who is claiming to be her best friend and then get on her podcast and bash it. I think that's where it hits different. But right, she did put her marriage out there for discussion and display. It just the way that Heavenly went about it, I think that's what hurt for her. And then Heavenly keeps standing on this. I just told you to be quiet. I just told you don't talk about the marriage or say anything about it. She chose to share it for us to pick apart. She just probably didn't expect that from Dr. Heavenly. I agree with what you're saying, Tori. She has to take some accountability too. But let me share this because Dr. Heavenly went up on her page. This is from On Site. And she posted, let me make sure y'all can see this. So that is Dr. I'm going to make myself smaller so y'all can see this. So yeah, this is from On Site with Dr. Heavenly posted Contessa's teeth from the reunion. And she said, I know I need to be worried about my man asking for numbers, but this is all I'm worried about. Pray for me. And she put up this picture of Contessa's teeth. But then the internet, who never fell, striked back and said, meanwhile, this is Dr. Damien's teeth. The internet is always undefeated. I screamed, y'all. They said, you talk about Contessa's teeth. Worry about Dr. Damien's teeth, Dr. Daddy Damien, okay? Prim said Dr. Heavenly has some nerve. She do. So they're saying instead of being worried about the phone number he allegedly got or his side mixed baby, fix his teeth first. She probably don't fix his teeth because then he'll probably get more phone numbers. I don't know. But child, I fell out when I saw this. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, like I was on the floor. Like, why y'all do Dr. Damien like that? Why y'all put his teeth up there like that? But the internet never fails, honey. Never fails. But I mean, overall, it was a good first part. I really, as I said, I really wish that this was only a 2-part reunion because first of all, I'm getting tired of recapping 2 shows all at the same time. I'm done with it. But it does look like there's more to come. I mean, we ended this episode with a few people, Quad pretty much because Quad and Heavenly, they in cahoots with each other. Quad said that she had never heard anything like that about Dr. Daddy Damien. Toya confirmed she had heard those things that Contessa said. Simone said that she heard that, or she had a woman come to her and say that Dr. Damien asked for her phone number. We're going to need some hard facts and receipts. So we haven't seen that yet, but I always say where there's smoke, there is fire. And that's all I'm going to say. But that's how we ended it. We still have the men coming on stage. Looks like they get a segment by themselves, and we'll see, Greg and King and how that goes. So it's definitely given more than the season did. So it was a pretty good first part of a reunion. I will give them that, although I'm exhausted by the entire season. Lily said, wonder what she thought when she saw this. I think you're talking about Dr. Heavenly saw her husband teeth on the internet. I don't know. I hope she get him in the chair. I hope she squeeze him in between between her appointments. Stat, child. Because I said, holy shit. And Tori said, I agree with what everything Phaedra said about them on that video. As I think of it, they have been since they started the season. Yeah. At this point, I want Mariah back. That's how I feel about it. If they're going to continue to go low and coerce with each other and X out people out of the friend group, I want Mariah back. I do. I feel she is a missing piece to this show. That's how I feel. Her shade was unmatched. She gave us a timeless line of do you want me to bring the receipt? I got the receipts and the invoices. I want her back. I really do want Mariah back. Let's bring on, I told y'all this, let's bring on Curtis' side piece, the woman he was caught up in the airport with. Since we bringing everybody else's sides and ex-husbands and all of that, let's bring everybody out there. Let's just do that. But yeah, like Toria said, Contessa T probably was like that because she always eating something. She probably was eating chips before she went out there. I was thinking it was her lipstick, Toria. I was on the same page, and she got the money. If she want to fix her teeth, she can. I personally thought it was lipstick or something. I did, but she got somebody to zoom in on that shit so she could post it. So I was cracking up. But yeah, guys, that is my thoughts on last night's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, as well as season 11, part 1 reunion of Married to Medicine. I will be back tomorrow. Set your alerts to recap Love and Hip Hop Miami, which will be on tonight. So make sure you watch it. I gave you guys a sneak peek of it. Ching Diamond is saying she is pregnant, but she said that she is 8 weeks along with 28 weeks to go. I don't like to say I don't believe people are actually pregnant. That seems rude to me, but I don't really believe that this woman is pregnant because the math ain't mathing. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I think she's just saying that because she doesn't want her boyfriend to go. And one more comment from Toria. She said, Mariah not going to come back and can't. However, she is still the executive director of the show. She sued as a creator and won as well. Well, at least she ain't like Nene, where she sued and didn't and had to back off the case and didn't win and can't come back. I don't know. I want them to work something out. I'm hopeful. I saw Nene over the weekend saying if Real Housewives of Atlanta called, she would answer the call. If they called for her to come back, girl, don't hold your breath. I would love to see it, but don't hold your breath. I don't know. But yeah, y'all, come back tomorrow. I'll be recapping live Love and Hip Hop Miami. The schedule of my recaps is on my page in my bio. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Y'all that's on here, please like this video, share. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you didn't see this live in its entirety. All my recaps are on my YouTube channel. It's coming across the screen now at Reality Recap 2876. That's how you can find me on YouTube, as well as the link is in my bios on Facebook and Instagram to my YouTube channel. So please, guys, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And also, again, I will put it up just one more time, guys. I did do a podcast yesterday, a podcast episode. I was a guest on Kendrick's podcast called I Cannot. It's a really fun episode. We talked about RHOA, Beverly Hills. We talked about so many things. I'll put it so you can see it, but I was on I Cannot. That's KEN, not podcast. It's on Spotify. The link is in my Instagram and Facebook stories for you to get it. Or just go online, Google I Cannot podcast, and it will come up for you. It's such a fun, lighthearted episode. I enjoyed my time with Ken. It was a great cackling time. So please listen to it. Give it a 5-star rating. I appreciate you guys. And I will be back tomorrow with my recap on 11 Hip Hop Miami. Latoya said, did you see the interview Bose did? And she has so much class about her and she is very sharp. I didn't see it yet, but I will be watching it so I can talk a little about it when I recap their newest episode this week. So see you guys tomorrow. Set your alerts, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And like I say, before I end all of my podcast episodes, reality TV stars are humans too. Let's not forget that. It is your girl V with Reality Recap. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.